Are you good on screen, Matt, or do you want a paper copy of the budget too?
I'll go on screen.
Thanks.
6 o'clock, meeting come to order, please. Public comment. 3 minutes. Please, name and address. Speak to the board.
John Tappan, Chair of the Trustees of Trust Funds. Trustees of Trust Funds just finished our second meeting to review reimbursement requests. Our plan was that you would receive these comments in writing before your next meeting, which had been scheduled for the 22nd. The trustees have received reimbursement requests totaling $1,172,018.08, which includes Engine 2, which has not yet been delivered. Of that amount, as I stated last week, the reimbursement of $7,312.50 from the Lee Library Building Capital Reserve Fund cannot be made, as this expense was charged to the fund without your authorization. In addition, the Select Board approved an amount not to exceed $25,550 for the dump body and plow for the new F-550. But the invoiced and paid amount was $25,750, not $550. Without the Select Board's approval, the trustees can only reimburse the $25,550 and not the additional $200. We will be putting this in writing, but because of the schedule change, we crafted this at our meeting.
Appreciate
If you
it.
have questions.
Questions from the board? No, thank you. Anybody else for public comment? I don't see anybody jumping up. We'll move on to the next business. Review and discuss the fiscal year 27 budget. Town Administrator, you got any updates from last month?
I do. We had a department head meeting last week, went back through the budget, tried to figure out where we might take some additional funding out. Probably the largest change to this budget is there was discussion of eliminating having a cleaning contract service and trying to handle that possibly with some labor from the transfer station, particularly if the transfer station was going to be closed for a day or a half day. Bring that person over. We're paying close to $50,000 for the cleaning contractors right now. This was seen as a way to both prevent having to drop an employee from the transfer station and sizable savings. There were a few other things in there. Some of them were noted. I put just a little note in the side column. This does not reflect any completion of positions. This anticipates filling the police department position that was recently vacated. It does not have any other positions removed. I would say that I talked with the DPW director. We looked at a couple of things, primarily sand purchase and cleaning and supplies for the upcoming year. And I expect to be able to reduce this budget by those amounts too. I just don't have exact amounts yet. There was also a $6,000 charge related to the fire service that I believe I can pay this year instead of next year, which would also lower this by $6,000.
Steve, do you have a guess on that amount of money?
I didn't know that that was part of the plan. I thought I was just buying stuff now. And then I still had that money next year, so I don't have a clue.
Okay.
Okay.
How would the board like to proceed? First of all, I want to thank everybody for doing a great job in this. I mean, going through this and having department heads really take out pieces all over, it's tremendous at this point. And I do appreciate the cleaning thing, and as I said in the beginning, labor is important. I'd rather keep all the labor here. I don't want to cut anybody. It's too hard to keep a job, it's also too hard to keep people in jobs. So I'm glad that I think we'd be able to pull it off without anybody being removed whatsoever. However, so that brings us down, with the cleaning company issue, and the 6,000 brings us down to 44. I'm going to suggest just open it up to the board and see if they want to make changes.
It brings us down to still needing to bring 44, because that's,
Yeah, it's 100,000, we're down, right? Right, you make a
right, but does that include the cleaning company already?
We did not take the full 50
Oh, okay.
out for the cleaning company.
Where was that?
Down to general government buildings. Oh. Right here.
There we are.
This was,
So you've changed this.
I did change it, but we did not change it by the full amount that we're actually paying the cleaning company.
Right, so we're still at 100,000.
As this sheet
Minus
stands
six.
right now, we're at 100,000
Okay.
deficit, yes, or
Okay.
difference.
So 50K is not,
It was already part of
it
their.
was already taken out at this
Yep.
point? Oh,
So
okay, I
we're
didn't
still
see
at
that.
100,000.
Okay, well, I'm glad that cleared that up.
I just want to make
Appreciate
sure
it.
we're on the right number.
Well, absolutely.
Get
So,
down to the bottom here.
yeah, it makes a big difference at that point. How would you like to proceed? Do you want to go section by section? All right, I'm going to start off from the top. If there's any changes recommended beyond all the changes that have already been made, unless you have a controversial issue. General government executive, unless I hear someone jumping up and down, I'm going to move on.
I mean, I know we've argued about this before, but if we get rid of our salaries, then that's another 7.5%.
I'm not enthusiastic about that.
Okay.
Okay. Next thing, election registration and statistics. Hearing none. Town clerk tax collector. I don't know why it went back up to
I
10,000.
don't know either.
I want to keep it at 5.
Okay.
Financial administration. Question? Reevaluation of property. I guess we'll keep that. Legal expenses. Personal administration. Planning. General government buildings, which we just discussed. And there isn't out, the library's gonna take over the spending piece, right?
Yeah, they're gonna take over the electricity for the town hall, yes.
Insurance, no, cemetery, excuse me. Insurance,
Yeah, look. No, it's not showing in this line yet. Let me actually go up a little bit because I can take out that, I can find the fire accident and health. I believe I can zero that out for next year.
so that was 6,000.
Yep,
Dollar.
That's all?
yeah, I'll leave it all so I can pay it next year.
Other general government, oh, that's all gone anyway. Police department. I have a question. I noticed that, I try to tie things together a little bit. Different lines like vehicle repair and new equipment is like 16,000 and 20,000. But I know you have money in the revolving account, and you jig it a little bit more for me somehow.
I mean, you can only go to the well so many times.
Yeah, I know.
And, you know, I'd already cut 30,000 out of that new equipment line. I was asked to do that a couple of years ago, and it was never put back. That was what we bought a car out of.
I understand that, yeah.
So now I have to depend on the special duty to buy a cruiser. If I'm dipping into it for other things, the money may not be there for the cruiser.
You know how much money's in the account?
I think Taylor said something about 100,000,
I think.
but I don't think it's that much.
It's a little under that. I would say it's probably between 75 and 80,000 to give you an accurate.
You know how much is the new car?
If we had to buy a new car right now, all in with all the equipment, 65,
It chews up things, doesn't it?
it does.
It sure does.
Yeah, I mean, cars, the prices, like, as everything else, have gone up substantially. I mean, I went through that. If
I
there was
don't
any
want to-
more I felt comfortable,
Mhm.
those are just things that you don't know. You know, we could lose a motor in a car tomorrow. You know, $6,000-7,000.
Okay, next question. I'm glad you're gonna keep that police position. Are you searching for somebody?
No, I haven't bothered because,
Because of all this?
yeah,
You think you're gonna find somebody?
it's gonna be difficult with what we are offering to pay. We're gonna be in the same position we were with the guy who just left.
Yeah.
Have to find an uncertified person, put them through the academy, and just hope they're a better character than the person we last hired.
I understand. Any other questions on the board? Thank you, Tom.
So that will most likely, take some money out of that line, starting 2 weeks from now.
Yes. Dispatch, can't do much about that. Public safety, something, no, that's done. Ambulance is pretty straightforward. Fire department? Are you over there?
Yes, he's over there.
I got the same question for you. You got vehicle repair, you got radio repair, and you got this stuff. You tap into that same line that Tom does, right?
Not as much.
Yeah.
Because we only do the racetrack, so we try and use that fund for racetrack equipment only. We haven't purchased anything for the fire department through that account in quite some time. But just like Tom, the new equipment line, we used to have a lot more in that line. We took a couple, I think it was $20,000 and put it down to $10,000. I think we've had it as high as 30. It's the same thing if we gotta buy anything new. We only have the $10,000 right now. And then the vehicle equipment maintenance and repair, and equipment maintenance and repair, same thing. I mean, our trucks are breaking left and right. I am working with Steve now to get some of that stuff done in-house, so we're saving money that way. He just repaired the Tahoe, the exhaust broke, and I think he said it was like $80 to fix with an alternator, so it's a lot cheaper doing that.
One thing I'm noticing, Scott, here, we had $5,000 on the June ballot, and for whatever reason, I've got 10,000 in that line, and I don't recall you requesting increase it. Something like that.
The last line is the overtime thing. We discussed it before.
Yeah, I took
We took a chunk out
25,000.
of it at that point. And will that be sufficient at this point?
I'm hoping, I mean, right now, we're 39,000 overspent, but we also had an opening for a while, and then we had 3 of our firefighters get hurt, and they were out for 8 weeks, so I'm hoping nobody gets hurt.
Hopefully we won't have any more.
Yeah.
Any other questions with the chief? Thank you very much.
Yep.
Building inspector, emergency management.
And the EOC folks did agree to dump those EOC lines. With the understanding that if you are an employee and you are the EOC director or assistant, particularly the assistant's position, and you get called into action, we're going to have to pay that position
Yes.
from somewhere.
Absolutely. I agree. Highway administration, we already talked about, just going through that. You're gonna do your own uniforms now, right?
Yeah, we cut a bunch out of that.
Yeah. I like the idea, what'd you say, you're gonna give them a stipend to buy their own shirts?
Pants, I'll buy t-shirts.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I had mentioned town administrator, we brought it up just a minute ago about pre-buying anything we can. I think that would help it because there is money left in this year's budget. How much is left?
As of right now, we've got a little under 400,000. We've got another manifest. Don't have another insurance payment, so.
So I'm asking at this point if there's anything, whether it's police, fire, highway, transfer station, or any other department, if we can front load this budget a little bit, it'll help us in the back end. That means basically we can lower it next year a little bit in compensation, but we're purchasing ahead of time. You know, obviously if we're moving, the cleaning service, probably cleaning service material, we could buy in bulk ahead of time to help offset the budget lines or something at this point. So if you come up with something, I would really appreciate it.
We buy the cleaning materials actually now,
Okay.
as it is. They provide the labor.
Highways and streets, solid waste. And solid waste disposal. Water distribution, pest control, health agencies and hospital, that's totally gone. Welfare, she's fine with the 5,000 still?
She is, I actually used 5,200, but I don't need the dues and subscriptions, and I'm gonna scramble from somewhere to make the rest of it up.
For direct assistance, and it went from 50 to 40.
I lowered that based on the new general assistance officer's recommendation.
Library. That's it. So we're still short by what?
$84,427.
Any bright ideas, town administrator?
I do not, other than to hold the line on basic spending throughout the year. 84,000 is not an insurmountable number to realize and potential unspent at the end of the year. 84,000, it's really going to be made or broken by the weather pattern from December 1st through March 31st.
Comments on the board?
At one point, we were talking about cell phones, whether or not everybody needed one. Was that discussed? Or was the decision made about who needs one and who doesn't?
We did not make a decision on that. That is certainly something that I could kill.
I'm not saying for everybody, I know that some of them are essential, so I just, if we can look at who has one and who we actually need to have one.
The primary reason that we have the additional cell phones is so people won't use their personal cell phones.
Use of a court case.
Right, I could just make it clear that.
You're working after hours, if you're not here, you don't work.
I'll sum it up in a nutshell. Nobody wants their personal cell phone 918. That's what it came down to. There was a period of time when there was a person here who wanted to 91A certain people's phones for no good reason.
Yeah.
And at that point, we went to town work phones. I have no problem not carrying two phones around.
Yeah,
You know, I'll give up my cell phone in a heartbeat.
that wasn't, you're not who I was thinking of, but I mean, you obviously have emergencies,
I always operated off my own cell phone before.
yeah, that's not,
I think you could comfortably I don't rely on mine. I don't discuss really any non-public material on my cell phone. The assistant town administrator uses hers very infrequently. The DPW director uses his, but we could probably get rid of 4 of them without.
Let's do that then.
Okay, I guess we'll go that way.
What, just to be clear, what's the savings from that?
Couple thousand?
Oh, it would probably be in the order of $2,400,
Okay.
because we break it out between the departments.
Change, I get codes and stuff for the bank when I come. So I'll change it myself, my personal.
Yeah, that, I may have overspoken, because that's true. Denise and I do get banking codes on our,
Can't you change the numbers?
I
To our
can,
personal
but
phone?
I don't know that you want the town's accounts on my.
Can it go to an email?
No, some of them can, some of them can't, but
All right, we'll review it and get back.
I'll review it and get back to which ones we can
It's
get
not a
rid of.
huge savings
Yeah.
anyways, so, I mean,
at least one of us has to be on cell phone, so if you're out of the office and you have to clear a code.
We have another question down on financial administration and treasurer salary part-time. It's elected position, right?
Yes.
are all of these elected positions aware that this is all, like, I'm a little concerned about his salary being cut, the ABC. Did you cut the trustees of the trust funds?
I cut the ABC.
No, you did not. Like, you cut the ABC, but that's the, I mean, are these people aware of this?
We have not discussed this with anyone other than department heads and the select board, no.
So I look at this from my point of view, that being on the planning board and other committees, there's a lot of other committees and boards out there don't get any salary whatsoever. And, you know, I feel the Board of Selectmen is a little bit different. We put a lot more time than anybody else in as a board, if you want to call it. However, this was something I probably would not have recommended because it is an elected position, but I need more information. How much responsibility is there with the treasurer, and what does the person actually do for a matter of record?
Sure. The treasurer's primary function is to, take a mile-high view of the budget on a weekly basis. He reviews the manifest before you see it, and he discusses whether we need to move money or not with me, and then moves it to the tune of millions of dollars. So we compensate for, as we get close to tax time, we compensate for the lack of income we have until we receive taxes by moving money around.
So unfortunately, I would not go along with this recommendation to reduce because it is an elected position, there is some authority and responsibility there. All of the boards and committees do not get any extra monies whatsoever. So it's kind of like equality along the line.
Okay, I can add that back in.
And who decided that amount of money to begin with?
It was a higher amount. I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago, the select board reduced what the treasurer received.
We'll just stay with this. So I guess I'm hearing from the town administrator that the amount of money that needs to be made up, we most likely will be able to make it up. Because put it plainly, kind of losing where we can cut, I think, in department heads made a justification why things should hold. I just can't see any loose money floating around anymore.
I think the only 2 things you can do at this point would be a position or 2, or I can beg the health insurance company to let us make a change to that. But those are the 2 options I think that are left.
Any other comments from the board?
Did the library have any money they could give up, other than taking $2,000 for electricity?
They did not, although We've not made a direct request to the trustees. The trustees have the benefit of an RSA that protects their budget once the budget is voted on.
Even if it fails?
If it fails, they go back to the default, but the select board doesn't have the ability to make cuts in that number.
I'm sorry. What's their default?
What's showing under that?
What is default?
I don't have it up there. Library's default is $254,387.
It's $3 differential.
Well, because I put a buck in the lines. The trustees would have to agree to make cuts, and I can certainly ask them.
Well, all the other departments have offered and made cuts. I think it's reasonable to ask at this point.
Well, I'm confused. Which budget do they automatically get?
The default budget,
45.
$245,084.
So let's fix that.
And the difference at 254,309 are the wages that are.
Yeah, because there was a raise that was incorporated in there.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying, but like there's other things here. So let's change the trustees lines back to the 5,800.
That may have been a typo. That was.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No, 50,000 must be their budget for what they spend. 55 books, so.
While we're on the library, can I just ask, like, looks like we're not budgeting to heat the library?
It's out of,
That comes under government buildings at this point.
Okay.
it used to be separate and then it got moved.
It's one propane tank for the entire town center, so
I mean, what I really need, like, every line in this budget has like some other story where it's like an explanation that this is not what this line actually is, right? Like, 12 years ago, X happened, and so like, what we call,
Exactly. No,
I
that's
need an explainer for that, like, I'm just like,
No, you're good, you're fine. We know. They just think they never go. Okay. What's the difference now? 80? 83.
While we're still looking at budgetary issues, I want to jump ahead a little bit because it's tied to budget. Hopefully, people had saw that there's a proposed, review and discussion associated with overtime policies. I assume that both chiefs have seen that at this point.
It doesn't affect us.
I
I
sent
just
it.
want to make sure you've seen it,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And so, I guess in fire and police, I want to make, if it's going to affect you now, I'd like to know about it since we're discussing budget.
We pretty much follow it now.
Okay. Because I saw with there, it's a policy, we're trying to get uniformity for overtime, but it does say down there, fire goes by their own, police goes by their own because of rules.
We talking about changing the fire department to the 40 hours?
No.
I saw the write-up in the agenda, but
Yeah.
it's just had our policy policy.
Yeah, but let me just read it to you for now, just so you won't, town employees not exempted from the provisions of Fair Labor Standards Act shall receive overtime pay at the rate of 1.5 times the regular rate of pay for work actually performed in excess of 40 hours per week, not 8 hours per day, within the exception of 2 departments below. Paid time off such as vacation, sick, or personal leave shall not be included for the purpose of calculating time worked, with the exception of holidays and permission granted by the board. The exception below are: 1, overtime for full-time fire department employees shall be based on time worked over to 84 hours per pay period. And number 2, overtime for full-time police department employees should be based on time worked over 86 hours per pay period. Okay, that comes with respect to, I think, a Fair Labor Act or something.
It does, the primary, from discussions I had with select board members and looking at the policies, we have 3 different policies right now. The primary thing that I was looking at was taking out the ability to use anything other than holiday pay to get to overtime, i.e. if you've taken vacation time or you've used sick time, that sort of thing during your work period, you don't get to use that. It has to be actual hours worked before you're eligible for overtime, with the exception of paid holidays.
So that, doing that will hurt our department, because you're gonna sit there and say, like, we got called out for a tree down this morning. So if that had happened later in the week, and a guy had taken today off and I called him and he doesn't get overtime for it, or if he comes in on Saturday, he doesn't get overtime for it. We don't choose when we get overtime. When the phone rings and Tom or Scott calls us, we have to come in. Whether we've taken a day off or not.
And there is a minimum call-in that you're paid when you're called in to.
But if one of the guys takes a whole day off tomorrow, and then we get a big flood and we get 8 hours of overtime on Saturday, they're not gonna get overtime for it, going by that? Well, they just won't come in. Or if it happens at night, they're gonna come in straight time at 2 AM for floods or snowstorms. This is why 2-3 years ago, we voted to make the highway department have its own, because we don't know when we're gonna work. Can't predict the future.
So you're saying that the person works 40 hours a week, gets called in, of course they get overtime.
Not according to that.
Yeah, I'm confused, because that wording, I don't have, that's not on the agenda, I only have this.
The wording that you just read, that if,
I don't even know what
that they don't get overtime after 8, and he doesn't want sick or vacation to go toward getting overtime, but if they're not gonna work,
If they're on vacation, they're on vacation, they're not working.
yeah, but they took 1 day off,
It
that's
doesn't
8
now,
hours.
Steve.
Huh?
It doesn't now.
What?
It doesn't now for you. You get overtime by the day.
Yeah, but they're trying to change it so we don't.
You can still get overtime by the day, but you can't use sick time or vacation time on your time card to get you overtime.
Is that sick time?
Wait, so I'm sorry, sorry, Steve, I'm just trying to figure out what we're looking at. So is this the policy we're trying to vote on, or is this something different?
Those are the policies that are in place right now. I told the chairman that I would bring a
Okay,
motion if he wanted it.
okay.
So here's another instance where that's gonna work. It's middle of the winter, Ben Allen has to take a day off or sick to watch his kid till his wife gets home from work and it's snowing out. But he won't be able to come in and get overtime after his regularly scheduled shift and work all night.
No, I understand what you're saying. I thought we were voting on this, so if you just give Matt and I a second, because I haven't seen this wording yet.
No, this sheet is what we currently have in
Right.
place.
Yeah, I know,
Andy,
but
I didn't
we're
have
now
this
talking
ahead
about
of
this,
time.
and we weren't supplied with this, so
No,
we're gonna take a minute to read it.
Yeah, we
I understand.
If that passes the way it is, the guys just won't come in, and I wouldn't expect them to, because why would you come in and work all night and not sleep in your own bed and not get paid for overtime for it?
note is that prior to this changing, I believe 2 years ago, people came in.
Seems like it's the timing.
To be clear, the pay period is every 2 weeks, correct?
Yes.
The,
Now, we're almost at.
sorry, the other thing I have is that right now we're averaging 42 a week for the firefighters, so it's an average for the 84, but there's different weeks where they only work 24 hours in 1 week because of that pay period. So that would be my concern is if they're supposed to work their shifts, but 1 week it's only 24, we're taking an average on that 8-week cycle. So they wouldn't be hitting the 84 working, they would average it out.
Maybe we need more time in this, so maybe I'll move the table at this point. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna table that. I just wanted to see how much effect it would have on the budget line. It has some effect, but it's not major at this point. It would just affect an overtime line. Any further discussion about the budget? Town administrator feels very confident that we can make up the differentials. True, town administrator?
We're gonna have to see a budget though, like, where, with that 84 grand still left to go, like reflected in the budget, right? So we're gonna get there, by when? I mean, the fiscal year starts in a couple of weeks.
I think what they're suggesting
Okay,
is
I'm
leaving
not
it, hoping we don't meet the 84 randomly for various.
Because we will have saved enough this period to like pay some stuff and,
I expect that that'll go down a little bit, but I don't expect to make a major dent in that number, no.
yeah, I don't know, I mean, like, I feel like it's feeling a little bit like blood from a stone.
That's exactly right.
I think it's worth it, I mean, for the record, I think it's worth it to discuss the overtime policy in detail,
Mhm.
right? Just, you know, for it to be uniform and sort of clear. If there's a savings from that, then that'd be great.
Steve, what's going to happen to DPW if one of your guys takes over cleaning? Are you still gonna, everything gonna stay the same at the transfer station?
Well, it would have to close,
Okay.
probably due to a half days,
What, Tuesday and Thursday?
and then a regular full day.
Okay.
But that's something you guys are gonna have to vote on.
But you need to get rid of a day if he's gonna move to cleaning.
Mhm.
Has either one of them agreed to do that?
No,
Okay. Do you think they're willing to do that?
I don't know.
Can you get back to us?
I can, but like it's gonna be, we need to, we don't have much time here, so
You wanna text them?
it's gonna be kind of put as, this is what you're gonna do if you don't like it.
Okay.
But you're gonna have to vote on the days, because it's 2 weeks away from when I need to,
No, I understand.
Well, I guess since you're on the floor at this point, let me say, is it busier in the morning or is it busy in the afternoon?
And it's random.
It's all over the
depends.
damn place.
We can do one morning and one afternoon.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Does fully closing for one day, one whole day, and then being open 2 days, is that any different in terms of your ability to like move people around than being open 2 half days and one full day?
No, because you're still gonna have to come in and work. So you might as well open for part of it.
Right.
What do you think?
But essentially it would be 6 hours one day, 6 hours the next is what it should probably end up being. So 7 to 2 or whatever 6 hours is, and then like 12 to 6 the other day. Is what I would say.
The other item that I have in parentheses in the budget there is you have a $20,000 contingency amount built in that is not cut from that shortfall left number.
And we used the contingency last year. Year before.
Do we know what we used previously?
I think this past year we've used maybe 8,000. I can't remember what I put in the report, whatever the charges were. I think there was like one thing too, was it a water heater or a furnace or something along those lines? Probably could come from the buildings capital
Yep.
reserve fund, but we use contingency.
Do you have records going back a few years about like
Yes, I
that
have
same
to.
information? Can
I
we-
have to publish it in the annual report every year.
All right, okay.
And it's fairly easy to, I can pull it and send you it.
Well, if you're not
I
by
have-
20,
Typically, it's involved plumbing or heating.
which could fall under government buildings, right?
Has it been a $20,000 contingency every year, or is that different each year?
Every year that I've been there,
It's been forever.
What do we have that on?
it's a warrant article that
Oh, it's
is,
under the warrant article, so
that
we
is
can.
fed back in to the expense lines
Okay.
if it's used.
That's not in.
That's why I didn't cut
That's
20,000
why you
for
don't
the
see it
operating
cut here,
budget.
yeah.
Oh, so we can't cut it because it's
We
a
can-
separate warrant?
It's a warrant article, it's not a line item in the operating budget, no, but it is there to be used for unexpected expenses.
I see. Just a question, and I'm sorry, I don't mean anything by this again, I'm just like trying to remain with it here. In the town clerk tax collector section, which starts on row 29, we've got salary, right, which is the town clerk salary.
Yep.
And then we've got assistant wages, and then deputy wages. Can you just describe to me again what the deputy versus assistant? Who are the, like,
Sure, the deputy is a very regulated position, it's a deputy tax collector, they need to be a resident of Lee. The hope was that the assistant will move into the deputy position.
Right now, that's Linda, and my understanding is that 5,000 is for covering sick.
Well, between the two, right now, it's 50 grand.
Well, we changed one of the budget by
45,000, yeah.
Oh, this one we changed.
And the 5,000 under the deputy is meant primarily to bring in the existing deputy who's gone in 2 weeks or so, but to be able to bring her back to cover vacations or absences.
Okay.
pretty much substitute pay.
Right. Thank you.
How many hours does that represent?
I think we changed it to 5,000. I'm not 100% sure.
Do we?
Yeah. Essentially, I would have to probably renegotiate an hourly rate with the deputy after July 1st.
Well, let me ask you a question. The assistant, just taking off from Matt's comment, well, the assistant should be able to take over that responsibility.
She should be. You can't just move into the deputy. You need a certain amount of experience and a certain amount of training before you're eligible to be the deputy.
And either the deputy or the town clerk tax collector has to be there.
Yes.
So if the town clerk tax collector is not there and the deputy can't be there, it's not open.
Right.
So the assistant can't, how long did it take that assistant to become deputy? What's the process?
The training that's available is somewhat sporadic. There's a little bit of state-sponsored training, but it's primarily the Association of Town Clerks and Tax Collectors that provides the training. They do a big shot of it at their conference in October. I believe there's a spring training session as well. And there are sporadic workshops sponsored by the association. And within the town clerk tax collector department, that's an independent department, and there's a town clerk tax collector.
We're just talking-
Fashionably late.
Right into the fire.
You must have felt your ears burning.
I did.
We volunteered you to fix the furnace in the building.
Volunteered me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when there's no line, you gotta go fix water heaters.
Good luck with that.
Actually, in the town office, as of right now, thanks to the DPW director getting a hold of the contractor, we have air conditioning, and we have 2 new units that should supply heat in the winter as well, which will be a first if we go the full year with both.
Okay.
So to be perfectly straightforward, what we were discussing, and what's the need for the deputy tax collector?
What is the need,
Yeah, well, in the sense that Linda's been around forever,
right?
training everybody. We need to cut budget somewhere, so we're trying to carve out $100,000. So we're looking at every single line, we
Right.
tortured all the department heads, and you just happen to walk in at the right time. So you could be
Or the
tortured.
wrong time.
So if I walk out, what does that mean?
Too bad you're already here.
No. So the deputy is more or less like an assistant. If I'm out or need to leave or something, they're there to more or less do the same thing that I do. Linda is there to continue some training, because there is more training to be done. The average time that people have had for experience that has taken over the job has been about 3 years. I've been there 14 months. So that's why we have Linda that would come in and cover like on vacations, if I take vacation time, sick time, or I need to go to a conference, or that's more or less for, or to help during special, big events like elections. things like that that I don't have the experience doing yet, is why we still have a need for Linda.
Well, we're proposed to cut the line back down to 5,000, just so you know.
Okay,
Because it was 5, then went up to 10,
yep.
and it's gonna go back to 5.
Well, it was 10, went down to 5, and then
Oh,
back up to 10, yeah, so,
I didn't know that.
yeah, it was, yeah. Are you talking about the deputy position as far as Diane goes, or Linda's position?
Linda's.
Linda's position.
Okay, so she would be the assistant. So she wouldn't be the deputy. Diane would be the deputy.
When would you anticipate Diane becoming the deputy?
My feeling was when she was able to run the office by herself. I don't think she's at that point, but Linda's not gonna be there, and she can't sign like vital records and sign things for elections and things like that if she's not a deputy. So I don't know if that's something that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
I'll put it plainly, $5,000 is not gonna last forever, is it?
What's that?
$5,000 is not gonna last forever.
No.
So I think if we add up all the lines that say supplies, plus the one that says water bottles, we get $26,000. If we cut those all in half and tried to like buy half of it right now, does that make any sense what I'm saying? Because you said we had a little bit of money still left from this fiscal year.
We do.
So we could look at buying half the supplies that we need for next year, leaving half the lines, that way if an unexpected supply comes up. That would save us 13,000. I don't know where you put all these supplies, I guess I could put them on my basement, but.
Not a good idea.
There's a lot of room in this room.
Yeah, let's fill this room with water bottles, please. Like, can we pre-buy like some of the water bottles? We've got like 6,000 in that line, like, can we buy some of this
Yeah,
stuff
I
ahead of time?
can
and
certainly
cut?
see if, I'm sure someone would be willing to bulk sell us water
I'm
bottles.
just throwing it out there,
or
like
other
it's an
supplies.
idea. We have a subscription and I just screwed it all up.
The supply other line in the highway budget's not normal supplies like you're
Hold on, I'll
talking
put it up.
about. It's like cement and stuff like that, and if we pre-buy all that stuff, it just gets hard.
Wait, well, don't do that. Okay, never mind.
In it, at least that line, like that's what we buy
Yeah.
concrete to do things with, and if we buy that early, if we bought a pallet of it when I used to work at the state, stuck it in a shed, and thought, oh, it'll be dry, and it just turns into a brick.
We don't do that.
I can go through the supply line.
Can we do that
and
and
figure out,
just-
Yeah.
and I had already mentioned that.
I have Jeff gave me a big list of all the toilet paper, paper towels, and everything that we use.
Yeah, so maybe we could go through for each department and see what we can
And
pre-buy
like
this
toilet
year.
bowl cleaner, all that kind of stuff to be able to buy. Just know that I'm gonna, when we do that, the line's gonna get overspent in the current year since I'm already pretty much at it.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I understand that for everybody.
It'll be noted in the minutes, yes.
But just the supply other line in the highway thing
It's the only one.
isn't like,
It's not.
Not toilet
supplies,
paper.
right? It's
not
like-
toilet paper and paper towels, it's,
Okay,
it's stuff that we buy as, projects, when we do the projects.
no, I
A lot of it's lawnmower, some of it's lawnmower blades, but a lot of the others, it's a lot of other just consumables for projects.
Okay, I understand. Let's say it's 10,000, we could pre-buy half of it then.
Yeah, I will go
Pretty
through line by line and figure out what we will be able to put back.
Okay.
In worst case scenario, we can put it in the hobo shed. Not the water, but
Oh, the hobo shed. Don't even
I'll put
mention it.
water in hobo shed as long as it's bottled.
it'll
right?
freeze.
It'll freeze.
That's fair. Put it there until it gets cold, I guess. We could put it there for, I mean, we could put it there for 5 months.
So we'll use some of it.
Right, and then you could use it, and then it would be there. I don't.
I'd like to play around with the gasoline line, but I don't trust it.
Yeah,
They say it's going down, but I don't
It's
know.
going down.
Who says it's going down?
The problem is, it'll go down, and we'll be happy it went down, but it's still gonna be more than what we were paying
Exactly.
before.
Yeah, I know. So I'm not gonna touch that one.
Well, I will work on supplies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like blood from a stone, isn't it? It's been chewed. I'm just happy we can hold on to labor.
We still, I mean, by my count, you said we were at 84,
It was
right?
74.
And, yeah, so after the supplies, what,
74.
$74,000, I mean, smaller than we had, but where are we gonna get that?
Well, Andy says he's gonna talk to Primex or something.
No. And we're definitely.
So, Matt, I know you're worried about the rest. This past winter, we had 28 call-outs, which is what made us max out salt, overtime, our diesel line, all that stuff. 2 years ago, we had 12. And I gave back more than what we're talking about.
Because we had sort of the warrant passed, so we were like safer than if it hadn't.
We had an easy.
No, we just had an easy winter, so I gave back 60 grand in salt and
Oh, you mean 2 years
15,000
ago, yeah.
and 15,000 in overtime, and I only spent 10,000 out of diesel, so like I give it, if it's like 2 years ago, you'll get it just out of the highway department's winter lines.
Yeah, remember
I
last
mean-
winter, it was all these little short storms, but.
They were like 3 hours, they all came at
Yeah.
night, we never had school canceled, but we were out constantly.
Every single night.
But that, I mean, my concern is just that, like, that may be so, right, and we can roll the dice and hope that that takes place, you know, that we have an easier winter than last year, but we still need, I mean, the people voted, you know, we did a lot of work, right, we had a hearing, like, we made another revised budget, we did a whole big statement about it, like, we need to have a budget that reflects the default. We need to have a document
Oh, yeah,
that reflects the default budget.
this is what,
That's not the default.
no, but this is what's gonna give him what he needs.
Sure. I'll show you this, I need you guys to sign this later, but this is what the default, this is the 232, which is the actual budget, but this is the same format that the default budget comes in, and it is, the budget worksheet is for the board and the budget committee to use to craft a budget. The actual default budget doesn't look anything like this.
Because it's bottom line.
It's just lumped together in, in group assortments, much less diverse than the budget worksheet.
So we can move things around if we have to, and as long as we meet the.
That's what DRA gets, and that's what they get the number.
Yeah, I mean, it still feels a little bit like driving around with the check engine light on.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Oh, yeah.
It is.
It is.
But put it plainly,
I
you
used
know,
to
just
do that
under a
too.
$6 million budget, it's not bad to have $74,000.
Yeah.
Put it plainly.
Right, I mean,
Well,
as
just
long
like
as
when
we
I
have
was-
some idea, like, what, you know, what the incremental thing
Mhm.
would be, you know?
I think the other thing that could happen is if we get to January 2027 and we have had 18 major blizzards, we can say, okay, we did not cut labor earlier in the year, we're gonna have to now.
Yeah. Okay.
So they don't see all these manifestations that we're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, my concern isn't that, like, the state's gonna bring the hammer down. So my concern is that, like, we'll be kicking the can down the road by not, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, let's put it plainly, though, just about everything's stripped out as much as it possibly can. What's labor is left is labor and essentials.
Yeah.
So the next thing would, if we can't meet the budget in the future, it'll be a labor line. Gasoline's not gonna change much, you know, cement and salt, it's all seems the same.
Have the cops ride horses,
Mm.
I guess.
Horses are expensive.
Very
Very
expensive.
Better off buying cars.
So are we ready to call it on the budget?
Well, I'll come back with whatever else we're able to squeeze out of it based on pre-buys and
So you go ahead and sign that ledger right there.
brought my pen.
That's the 232, which is,
I'm gonna have to borrow yours this time.
I had it in my car.
So you can get it.
That would conclude our review and discuss the revised fiscal year 27 budget. And we already talked about tabling the overtime consideration for now. Thank you on that. Okay, next thing, Karen Rossi. You're not sleeping on me.
Oh, thank you. Model Rocket Day is an event that Larry Kinberg has generously hosted for the rec department for several years. And he would like to get Little River Park closed for the event. And I didn't feel comfortable, I said that board needs to authorize Little River Park to be closed for the Model Rocket Day. We had a date, tentative date of the 20th, but that doesn't work because we already have events canceled. Excuse me, we already have events scheduled, so it would be a date in July or August. But I want permission from this board to be able to close Little River Park during Model Rocket event, which is typically 9 to 1 on a Saturday.
I know one of the emails someone suggested using, I guess, that field. So
He said it's not big enough.
It's not big, okay.
I
missed
suggested the field, or somebody suggested the field next to the school, town field as well, and that's not big enough.
Okay, then if that's it, that would.
Any problem with that?
No, it's gotta be closed, those things come down pretty hard.
I'll just make a motion at this point that we grant permission to close Little River Park for Model Rocket Day.
Second?
Hearing no discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Before I get to that, I really need you to vote on the dump.
Oh, yes, I know. I had that on my list. We have to officially vote to change the number.
Okay, what do
Because
you-
then I have to notify the state and change a whole bunch of operating plan stuff, so like, I need to,
Do you have a preference for any of it?
it does not matter which day is early or late. I mean, Saturday is not changing, but it would be essentially six hours Tuesday in the morning and then noon to 6 on Thursday, I guess.
And what's Saturday's hours right now? 7 to 6?
7 to 5:45, the guys work till 6.
Okay.
I move to grant permission for the transfer station to be open on Tuesday morning from 6, did you say?
7 to 1,
7 to 1, and Thursday
12 to 6.
12 to 6, and normal running hours on Saturday.
All right.
Second?
All right, any other discussion?
Yeah, can we include in that, I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to like communicate this to people, like, is there, when you put out that sign that flashes, or, you know, like, was out for the election, does that cost money, or
No, that's ours.
it's yours? Right.
Yeah, you know that.
And you're gonna put it in the Lee Crier, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'll have to go on the board and the dump, and I'll turn the message board on. I won't do that. The message board's gotta say something about family night first, and then
Yeah.
first thing Thursday, no, my message board.
Oh,
Then first thing Thursday morning, we'll change it to the dump hours.
yeah, Denise can change the TV at the dump, and we'll put it on Facebook and the leak on
Effective when?
I gotta look at the calendar. Essentially, as soon as July 1st, so July 1st.
July
That's the start of the new budget.
Okay, effective July 1st. Okay, anything else on this subject? Also, go ahead, talk about the 10-hour days.
Yeah, we've done for the past couple of years, just requesting to move to 10-hour days for the rest of the summer for the 4 guys in the highway department. Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, you've done this for several years now.
A couple of years, we tried to rotate it, so there was always someone on, but it's not the best to have a person on alone, and we did it that way in case something happened in town, when we've never really had anything happen in 3 years doing it, so if something did happen, you know, I'm not going anywhere, I'm still around. And there's 2 guys that are in town, and the police department usually makes it so we don't really have to come out anyway if they find something, unless it's too big for them to handle, so.
Any problems?
How would this affect, the overtime situation? Right.
Good.
It's actually better for us to do 10 hours, because you start a project, you can actually finish it.
Right.
And a lot of what we mow is too wet first thing in the morning to mow, so the later in the day we work, it's drier, it's actually better.
Therefore, I move to approve the highway department summer schedule for 10-hour days, Monday through Thursday, said schedule to start on June 22nd and end on November 24th, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
Hearing no discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
We didn't vote on the hours, did we?
Yeah, we did. Where were you?
Well, I thought we just discussed it, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think there was actually a vote, all in favor.
I thought there was, all right,
Oh, I heard the motion.
I did
Yeah,
too.
there was a
I
motion,
seconded
but
it.
there was no vote.
I
Am I-
voted. Maybe it was
Well,
all
it was
right.
seconded, so.
All right, well, all those
All
in
in
favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Maybe I was a little too quick on the draw.
Usually you're the stickler for procedure.
Yeah. Actually, I think I said it. We'll see what the recording says later, right?
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Okay, town administrator.
Sure, the first order of business I had was the revised boards, committees, and commission policy, and the planning and zoning committee administrator had spoken to you a couple of meetings ago about some changes that she would like to see to simplify the renewal process, and essentially that's been incorporated into the policy highlighted in yellow that you have.
Yeah, I don't see anything highlighted.
Can we do that in the future, when we change a policy?
The first one I had,
I think
I
I
thought
just
was
did it for yours,
highlighted, but she
not
sort of
for
removed
mine.
that.
Yeah, like track changes or, I mean, would be.
It's
So, you wanna
under D.
table that, you get a chance to get it?
No, I read the whole thing, I was just curious which
Okay.
part of it changed.
It was, basically, it no longer requires an application for reappointments.
It's the reappointment section.
So was that 2D member seeking reappointment, was that added in its entirety? Was that not there before?
No, that was there.
Or,
It was
so
there.
what was added?
So
This,
it's
no, number one, D1 doesn't say they have to do an application.
Three members of committees is Trevor.
They just need to let me know if they want to continue or let their chairs know.
Essentially, the change was removing the requirement for an application to be reinstated or reappointed.
I had questions on that, since we talk about, you know, on the, what's it, every March is when reappointment comes around committees at this
Right.
point. We've been doing this for years, they come in and we have to sign all those documents. Why can't we have it in mass, so it's on like a, you know, Excel sheet? And a lot of these people just renew, it's the same people staying on in the same position. Because the board has a right to not reappoint.
Okay.
So if it comes in and says, you know, all of these people on the end of March, this one under sustainability wants to continue, this one wants to continue, and all these different committees, we can just go over each name and check, and out, you know.
Don't think it's quite that simple, because they're supposed to take the oath of office when they re-up. And that's why we do the individual forms, so they can do the oath with the town clerk, or town clerk's
But
Beth Nielsen, myself.
the select board has to approve it first.
Yes.
Right.
So we still can do the Excel sheet, and then you just go ahead and,
The select board can,
that's just a procedural issue, it wasn't really a philosophical point. The other thing is that it talked about somewhere, no more than 3 committees? Anybody in violation or something like that?
we probably have one person that is on the edge there. one of the positions that they're in is elected, so that was bumped. And one of the positions may be a subcommittee of another committee, and I'm not quite sure how that's handled, but
Are we fussed about people being in more than 3
That's
committees?
what it says here. so.
I know, I'm just curious, like, do we care?
I don't, well,
Like,
it's
is there a
in here
reason
in
it's-
this.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, is there a reason it's in here?
No, I don't know, but it's been, you
Been
know,
there for 10 years, or whenever this was written.
we can take it back and modify that if the board.
He's a
wishes.
rarity. He's a rarity, that person.
yeah, I know. I'm not picking on that person.
No, good for him.
But the, you know, this was June 10th, 2013, then revised again. And, you know, maybe it's just a holdover.
Yeah, I just don't know that we need that, that's what I was saying.
I mean, if somebody has the time and they have the capability, because there's other sections in here, if they become no longer cogent and don't have the capability or cognitive ability to deliver their work in the committee, there's ways of moving people out. So I'm not overly worried about whether it's 3, 4, or 5. If they have that time commitment, good luck.
Okay, okay, yeah, I would agree with that.
We will bring this back then.
Okay.
And I'll highlight the,
Yeah, when we talked about this last time, I mean, again, like not as like an immediate matter, but just because since this is a policy that governs, you know, sort of in the background or as like an overstructure, I would like there to be a paragraph that addresses like, you know, a situation if, you know, say for example, there's a committee that's full, and maybe there's someone out there we don't know about who would really like to serve on a committee, right? And we're talking about then like vacating number 2 here so that the same people can be on every committee. I want there to be something in there that's like, you know, we're announcing when terms are up, right? So that we as a select board and future select boards and everyone will know like, all right, well, if, you know, to say, well, if you're someone who wants to be on X committee, you know, these terms are up, they will be reappointed by default if they want, if nobody else steps forward, right? So something in there that says like, we're gonna announce it in all the normal ways and then, you know, can we get that drafted up for next time?
and that was a concern of someone that spoke during public comment probably 3 meetings ago when we first started talking about this too.
Yeah, sometimes the committees are full and they're doing good work, but at the same time, somebody else keeps waiting and waiting and waiting. Of course, they could be alternates into the, you know, in the planning board, we do have alternates.
Yeah.
In the ZBA or something.
But it's like, you know, I mean, I don't, for something like that, it's like, I don't want someone like hanging on to the seat if you could, you know, if there's a situation where someone else wants to, you know, participate.
Make sure it's highlighted in yellow.
I will,
Red.
I'll highlight. the-
Red.
I don't care what color it is.
Well, some of them you can't see through very well, so I guess you gravitate towards
Yeah.
that green or yellow.
It's dark blue, doesn't work too good in that background. Continue, please.
Okay, second is a motion. Can we have the motion? I need a motion to authorize payment from the revaluation capital reserve fund to MRI as part of the regular schedule of payments for the revaluation.
Any problems with that?
Building goes with that.
We owe money, you owe money. Therefore, I move to authorize withdrawal of an amount not to exceed $8,731.25 from the reevaluation capital reserve fund in order to pay Municipal Resources Incorporated for the 4th installment due towards the 2026 statistical reevaluation for the town per the contract. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Had a couple of things under miscellaneous. One, Pat Barber came forward and indicated that she would like to remain on the Budget Committee, which fills the last position.
Very good.
So the ABC is full at this point. The other thing I would mention, have had some conversation with the Assistant Town Administrator and with the Planning and Zoning Administrator, and need to pull in the Town Clerk about potential office hour changes. may not be so important with the town clerk, and that's an independent office. But for the other two positions, because there's no overtime in the budget, having time when there's uninterrupted ability to do things like complete the minutes, finish projects, that sort of thing, is going to be important. And that doesn't happen right now. So we've been in discussion. It wouldn't be a major shutdown, perhaps an afternoon, something like that. We've talked more radical. Some of the towns around us, Barrington, for example, has gone to a 4-day open to the public work week. I know Kingston, I spoke with the planning and zoning administrator today who has some familiarity with Kingston. They got a default budget and are going to a 4-day office open policy as well. But we are looking at those options to see what we can do, first of all, to mitigate overtime, and second of all, if there are any additional savings we might be able to realize by getting creative with the schedule.
Okay.
I'll be back with more of that.
Is there anything else? No?
I have nothing else.
Before I move off this, Mr. Tappan, could you talk to me again? You said there's 2 outstanding. You had, is that something we can move on tonight? Or is it necessary to move on it tonight?
Typically, we would bring you a motion to do that, but
The $200 for my body overage, I'll pay out of my budget, so don't even worry about
Okay.
that.
So there's nothing I have to worry about tonight. It doesn't stop anything.
The $200, well, both of them, we cannot pay because
I
you
understand.
haven't voted on them. And looking at the calendar, you don't have another meeting scheduled this month. But we just provide a check for the rest. And if sometime in the future you approve those expenditures, then they become reimbursable.
Yeah, but so, in other words, there's no rush by July 1st is what I'm asking.
Not to us.
Okay.
it would be cleanest, but.
Okay.
The issue, of course, is that you, over the course of 3 years, seems to have developed a practice that the expenditures that you approve are not getting recorded. And so invoices are coming in, checks are being written, and it's being recorded as it's coming from a trust or reserve fund, and yet you never saw it and you never voted for it. That $200, I think, is just because the quote was in February, you approved it in March, but it was not to be purchased until July, and that was a quote that said that it was valid for 30 days. And so there was a $200 difference.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we'll move on to the consent agenda. Anything you want to pull up? Okay, I move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Am I missing something?
I also have copies of the minutes that Denise sent out today, but I don't know that you've had time to read them at this point.
I have not.
I looked at him, I said, forget it.
Well, I think one of them came in when I was eating dinner, so.
That was the last one.
Okay, well, it definitely been like an outline.
Any old business? I have none. Old business? Do you have anything non-public?
Not at the moment.
No non-public? Anything else on this side? Nope. I'll move to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
We should have taken it. Pay attention to sign. He just finished.
They really were, it was perfect timing.
Well, I heard it coming down the hallway. So did you?